ones, not gonna lie. So if you want to, comment down below, maybe the ones that are most, I guess, ugly to you, or maybe the ones you like the most, one you would want to have of your favorite player. There's definitely a lot of good ones. And yeah, maybe we can have a little bit of a chit chat on how good or bad the 2022 NBA All-Star Game is. Pretty exciting. So yeah, make sure you do like the video. If you do like the video, subscribe to the channel for all the randomness I post. Tonight's a basketball video. Yesterday was a Star Wars tier ranking video, so if you're into Star Wars or movies like that, make sure to check out last night's video. And yeah, I think that's everything. So let us get started. Alrighty, so starting out this video with some of the, I guess, ugliest, which by the way, again, these are just in my opinion. My opinion is wrong, stupid, dog duty. It makes no sense. It's absolutely wrong. It's just my own opinion, which is why I would love to know yours down in the comments. But in my opinion, this one's pretty bad. These All-Star jerseys, well, actually, let's do something first. I'm actually going to start this video out with what the NBA All-Star, I guess, committee, whoever makes up the rules, we need to have their own team jerseys back. And what I mean by that is each player has their own, home team. If they're the West, they have their away jersey on. If they're the East, but it's their own team jersey. And what would be really cool if they had their own alternative team jerseys on. A lot of them look really sick. That would be so fire. I miss seeing that. Obviously, a lot of nostalgia throughout the 2000s when they used to do this back in the day, and man, I miss it. And I think it would even look cooler nowadays because the NBA jerseys nowadays are super dope. I think it'd be really cool if players got their own choice of whatever, alternative classic away jersey they would want to wear while they are, the East versus the West, or even if you are Team LeBron gets to pick either, the bright colors or the darker colors, whatever he wants to do. Leading vote getter, I guess, gets to choose. That'd be pretty sick. And I even think we're getting to that point where we could actually go back to an East versus West All-Star game. I hope we don't, because the NBA All-Star Draft is one of my favorite things ever, every single year. So maybe not, but I'm saying if they wanted to do that for another year, I think we're about at that even level playing field where I think either side, East versus West, it'd be very even. Not like back in the day where the Western Conference was pretty dominant, but nowadays it'd be pretty entertaining. But even so, each player has their own individual jersey, whether it is their away jersey or home jersey or classic, city adjacent, whatever you want. I feel like that is one thing that 1000% should be back in the NBA All-Star Game. Okay, so enough of that rant. Starting out with this actual topic of the video, some jersey reviews, I guess you could say, and an ugly one that I would have to say, 2004. And as you can see here, 2004 jerseys are pretty disgusting. They are very plain, and there's a difference between being a plain jersey and a clean jersey. This is the definition of a plain jersey. All it has on there is basically just East, but in a diagonal looking way, or West in a diagonal looking way. Back of the jersey is also pretty ugly, not gonna lie. The striping on the jersey as well is absolutely disgusting. I hate how, even for the East, I think the Eastern Conference got it the worst that year, being the away team, having that big blue coloring, and then the striping on the shoulders and the color just looks absolutely gross. I don't think whoever made this was really thinking about it, but then again, when looking at this, it looks like 2000s attire, so what, I'm actually can see maybe how this sort of slipped by during that time period, but man, everything about this is pretty disgusting. Even the fonting of the lettering just looks, man, the diagonal sort of texturing on this is just, it makes no sense. This is maybe one of the worst ones for sure. Oh man, yeah, these ones, I'm looking at a list right now of just all of the jerseys together, and looking at 2017, the All-Star jerseys, that's a big yikes. Again, the away team kind of got it in the bad way. I think that year was the Western Conference, who was technically the away team, and dude, their jerseys look just so bad. Like the gray on gray, you guys know I already do hate gray on jerseys. No offense to Spurs fans out there, I think they pulled off pretty well, but themselves, and that's when you know it's actually a pretty bad one, man. Oh my goodness. Yikes. The Eastern Conference, maybe you could get away with it. It's a little bit brighter, and it's not so much dark gray on gray. It doesn't look so as droopy or weird. But even then, man, the West All-Stars jerseys are just, they look so bad, especially with the big Kia patch on it. Super gross. Also, this video is recorded before the NBA All-Star game, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not gonna say these are ugly, but the 2022 NBA All-Star jerseys definitely look weird to me. I think, again, one team's looks better than the other. I think that the Eastern Conference team, I think that might be Team Durant's, the lighter shaded color one. I think that's them. Yeah, it is them. Their jersey definitely looks a lot worse than LeBron's team. That is just a nice darker reddish, maybe even like a burgundy color, and I think the shorts look cool. The design is iffy. This is definitely a jersey where I think by itself looks weird, and I remember seeing the leaks of these going out on Twitter, and people were just roasting these jerseys very badly. But I think these jerseys will definitely look a lot better on person, which again, I'm waiting. I'm not gonna say they're the worst jerseys or they're ugly. They just don't look good, I guess you could say. And again, your boy doesn't really like the color gray for jerseys. That for Team Durant's, just look, why couldn't they just make it white? They should have just made it a white one, or again, made it an all blue with gray, or all blue with white, not an entire gray jersey with some blue outlining. Like, I don't like how it looks, and sometimes even the patterning on it looks a little weird, like the texturing of the jersey. I don't like how that looks, and again, I've seen the leaked pictures of the actual jerseys, how they actually look, and up close, they just look kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. So these are definitely a hard pass for me. If I was ranking this, or I guess rating this jersey, maybe like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 maybe. These would probably look better on person, and I actually do like the Team LeBron ones. Those ones are okay, but the Durant ones are just, and obviously maybe the worst NBA All-Star Game jerseys of all time. 2014, we had not only the terrible sleeved jerseys, but my god, the colorway for these sleeve jerseys, just atrocious. Like the green with the blue, and then you had the blue with the red on the Western Conference jersey. These jerseys were just everywhere and not in the good spaces. I mean, you can literally look at the picture I'm using right now. These are just, how did this happen? And did these get made fun of during this time period? Because I don't remember hearing really anything about them. But oh my god, these jerseys just look bad. I mean, the Eastern Conference ones, those ones I'm really looking at, those ones are done very dirty. These ones might be the worst ones. Alright, now we're gonna get into some of my, I guess, nicer ones, the ones that I like a little bit more, and then maybe later on I'll go to maybe some of my favorite ones. I didn't know I was doing like a ranking thing, but I guess I kind of am as I'm going right now. These ones are good. I like these ones. They definitely hit me in some sort of way, I guess you could say. These ones I think are what, again, there's a difference between being plain and bland and being a clean, crisp jersey, and I think these ones are a definition of that. 2016 Toronto NBA All-Star Game jerseys. Now these are plain, they're crisp, they're so nicely detailed. These might be, again, if I was buying a jersey, these ones would be ones that I would buy, because again, I'm very basic in my style, so I actually really like these, and I think they look good. And in my opinion, I love the Eastern Conference one. It's just an all plain, icy white jersey with the blue that pops so nice with the East. And then on the back side of both jerseys, you have these sort of Toronto skylining in the outlining, which I think looks super dope. And then you have the sort of maple leaf Canadian flag styling on the back of the jersey as well. Obviously, shoutouts to Canada, really cool. And then you have the nice NBA All-Star star patch in the center of that. It's simplistic, it's nice, it's clean, it's crisp. This is like the perfect styling that they, if you 2020 Chicago All-Star Game, one of my favorite All-Star games of all time. I talked about it in one of my recent videos. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I like these jerseys. I think, again, if you're going with a plain All-Star Game jersey, this was perfect. It has a style of Chicago having, I think it has like the Chicago transit lines on it. I think that's like the pinstriping they have on there. They have a bunch of different sort of textures, just like the Toronto Raptors, the Toronto All-Star Game jerseys did. But again, making it nice and plain, not making it over the top, but not giving it a dull look as well, like those 2004 jerseys. I really like these. These are, you know, if you were to make the All-Star Game jerseys every single year, it would make sense. They look good and they make sense. So these ones are, again, are nice little, like, yes, these are good. And again, sort of, again, in the same category as those ones, the nice, clean, simple looked ones. You gotta go to 2003, where those were actually throwback ones to about, I think they were the late 80s, early 90s All-Star Game jersey, but I'm gonna call them the 2003 All-Star Game jerseys, because those were actually the ones that MJ's last All-Star Game took place. He retired in those ones, and man, these jerseys, again, super nice, super crisp, super clean, very nice and stylish. It's a throwback to a throwback, which I think is pretty sick as well. And again, these are just the most simplistic styling, but not going over the top. And again, the nostalgia factor just hits with these jerseys so hard. I mean, looking at MJ and Kobe in these jerseys is so fire. And these are also jerseys that by themselves may even look too plain, but man, on the court, these things pop and look very, very, very dope, at least in my opinion. So again, those are sort of like that, yes, you got it right on the dot type of money ones. But then now we're gonna get into some of the more fiery ones that are probably the best ones and maybe my favorite ones. Coming in at, again, one of my favorite All-Star Game jerseys of all time, maybe my favorite. I have to really think about it, also because this is like, you know, these are my guys. These are the guys I grew up watching being All-Stars, and being one of my first All-Star Game, you know, memories, really sitting down watching the entire weekend, you know, getting a bunch of food, watching it with my dad. It hits hard, pretty much. 2012 Orlando NBA All-Star Game, the gradient colorway. So fire. I loved it when they did like the blues and reds, not the whites and the dark colors. I loved these style of jerseys a little bit more when it's just the red versus the blue. I think that looks a bit like cooler on the court, but oh man, I think everything about these jerseys are super sick. I wish they would have maybe done a little bit more gradient from the waistline, from, you know, below the belt to downwards of the shorts and upwards. I wish they would have done more of a gradient that way. But the jerseys themselves do it justice. I think the tops are super cool. The colorway on the numbering, how it's different from all the other ones. How the East had silver, the West had gold coloring on their numbering. It's very cool. I think they both match very well for each other, and you have the star patches on each one of the All-Star jerseys. And man, I feel like, again, like these jerseys hit really hard for me, because this is like, you know, when I was really watching the NBA during this time period, really getting into it. And, you know, obviously, you know, LeBron in his prime, and KG, and the up and coming guys of like Blake Griffin were coming in, and blah blah blah. Even Dwight Howard was an All-Star this year, obviously being it in Orlando, super sick. Like, man, maybe I like these a lot because they are nostalgic, but I think they are just, again, really sick. I love the gradient colorway that they have on here, and the blue pops super well, and I love how the gold pops really well on the red jerseys for the West. Maybe my favorite ones. Now again, these ones sort of fall into the category of being simple and clean, but I think them upping it a little bit more make them one of my favorite ones of all time. 2019 NBA All-Star Game. I know, very simple, but I love the fact how they have each team's, I guess, emblem logo on the fronts of the jersey, and it makes me reminds me of when, again, each team got to wear their own team jersey, and they almost tease you a little bit with this jersey, and that's why I kind of like it. But also how crisp and clean they look on each one of the players, having them each have that own individuality, but also all looking together as a team, which is really sick. You also get the red and the white and the blue striping on the collar and the sides, and the cool sort of starry patchy down the side, I think also pops very well. And yeah, I think they look really sick. These ones are very crisp and clean. They get sort of like the NBA, how it writes out NBA. It's a gradient in that texture, which I think is super sick. The star in the background, it really makes the number pop up front, and then the back of them, pretty cool. Not gonna lie, even the shorts are just like they scream 90s, and that's why I think these ones are like pure nostalgia factor. And I think maybe that's why I'm a little bit biased with them, but I don't care. I think this might be my favorite ones of all time. So let me know again down in the comments your favorite ones. But man, these ones are like, these are 10 out of 10. These ones you could wear for styling. These ones are cool on the court. These ones got it all, I feel, and I think you can never go wrong with these ones. I feel like these ones might be on everyone's favorite list, at least in my opinion. Yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for me. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this little video again. You know, fashion is another, you know, sort of art form, so that means I can't really say they're bad or wrong or this or that or whatever. They're just my own opinion, just how any art can be good to you, any music can be good for you, because that's a form of art. Fashion is a form of art, so if you like these jerseys, that's cool. If you don't like them, that's also cool. I would love to know your opinion down in the comments. So hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this video. Maybe you're watching this